was by the driver's side, so we weren't like we were like I would say about this distance. So I didn't touch it.
How close in proximity was Scoop's car?
Scoop's car was like I can give you a like it was like this
So
close.
Less than a foot.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys were standing in between both cars when this conversation happened?
She was at the front of this car, and I was at the driver's side of mine.
How far approximately from each other?
I would say about 3 to 4 feet. 3 to 4 feet.
And then after you said the last 5 that she approached.
Yeah, I turned around, and that's when, I was trying to get in my car, and that's when she approached.
And then you said she grabbed you by the hair.
By my braid.
By your braid?
Yes.
What happened after that? She
just repeatedly kept hitting me. And I remember Leja, she came around and she was breaking up the fight. And a lot of people, like Cartel, this guy named Cartel, he also got Leja off.
So hair grab, and she was, you said, hitting?
Hitting, yes, she was hitting me.
Okay, on your face. And was that open fist or closed fist?
Closed.
And how many times approximately did that happen?
I would say that 8 to 10 times before Leja even, because Leja was like, I would say like 3 cars over. So she came kind of like later.
And do you recall to what side of your face the hits were occurring?
If I recall correctly, it was this side of my face.
Okay, and is that the same side that
my braid was on this side?
Okay, so it was all over basically.
Yes.
Okay. And so other than the verbal interaction you mentioned earlier, did you speak to the defendant before or after the attack?
No, I didn't speak to her.
So again, the side of your face that was hit was the left side.
Yes.
And then the braid was pulled from the right side.
Yes.
Okay. And what did the defendant use to execute this incident? Did she use any weaponry or anything?
No. It was just
It was all.
Yes, just hands. No weapons were involved.
And how long did the assault take?
I can't really.
What injuries did you sustain as a result of this attack?
I had hair loss on this side because it was like sewn into my hair. So when you pull out a braid, your actual natural hair comes with it. So I had hair loss, and I also had bruises on my face.
So not only so the braid wasn't your real hair?
No, it was attached to my real hair. So my real hair came out with the braid. Yes.
So the braid wasn't, but it was attached to real hair. Once pulled, both were removed from your scalp.
Just one braid was removed. Just one.
The fake hair and
my real hair. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And so, did you seek any medical attention for those injuries?
No. The doctor said that my nose was just swollen. It wasn't broken or anything. So just to put ice on it.
So you saw a doctor?
Yes.
And was that through emergency room, through like your PCP?
It was through 99.
You said through what?
99.
It's urgent care.
Urgent care, yeah.
Ask her that.
Oh,
Thank you.
All right, and so how long after this incident did you see the doctor?
I would say, I'm trying to be like actually accurate. So I would say a couple of days after.
Did these injuries affect your daily life?
Well, the braid, I had to cover it, and I had to grow out my hair again, which is still growing out because like I just recently got my hair done, so it was freshly done. Mm-hmm. So yeah, with the braid, it's kind of hard to do different styles unless I'm like wearing a wig.
Your Honor, may we approach the witness?
Yes.
Ms. Gillespie, I have some items to show you here, okay? So what do you know what these are?
Yes.
What are they? I have 1, 2, 3.
Those people's proposed 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, these are people's proposed, sorry, exhibit 2, 3, 4. So what are these?
So this is
No,
the
like physically, what is
okay,
this? This is a,
picture of my hair being put out, well, obviously it's gone.
okay, so let the record reflect. Witness is speaking about people's proposed exhibit 4. And so can you show me? Can you tell me what's going on here?
I haven't, you gotta show it to her. You can't show it to the jury until you get permission to publish it.
Tell me what's going on here.
So this is the removal of my hair. That's the patch.
It was right here.
It was right here.
All right. And then to exhibit 2.
This is the bruise on my face that was left after shoot.
And then, so it's just the bruising basically.
Yeah, this is just the aftermath of the bruising.
And this is,
It's the same thing. It's just the bruising. In the eye. Yeah, under my eye.
Your Honor, the people move to admit people's proposed exhibits 2, 3, and 4 into evidence.
The objections to people's 2, 3, and 4.
Can I see them?
Yes.
We can get you copies.
No objection.
People's 2, 3, and 4 are admitted.
And so again, if you mind telling the jury what is happening in this photo, this is the people's proposed exhibit number 4.
So this is the removal of my hair. As you can see, over here, like my braids are attached to my hair. And this is how it was forced to put out.
And then pertaining to the people's exhibit, proposed exhibit 2 and 3, can you explain to the jury what's going on?
So in this picture, that's the aftermath of like the bruising, the incident. And this is just a close-up look.
So how long did this bruise last on your face?
I would say last a little bit. I had to cover it up with makeup.
Did that affect your day-to-day life in any way?
Yes, because I had to cover it up with makeup.
Now we have another photo. Do you recognize who's in the photo?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, and do you recognize the area?
Yes.
Where was this taken?
This was taken, I'm pretty sure where the incident took place, because I see my car right here.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to make sure. So yes,
So what's going on in the picture? What do you notice about yourself?
I look distraught.
Okay, other than that,
It looks like
what's going on over here?
oh, I have my braid in my hand. Sorry, it's dark. I can't feel it, but it's dark. But I have my braid in my hand.
Your Honor, the people moved to admit the people's proposed exhibit 5.
Any objections to people's 5?
No objection.
People's 5 is admitted.
Explain to the jury what you just showed me right now. So this is a photo of you. And so what's going on?
I'm crying. I can see I'm crying. And I have a piece of the braid that was pulled out of my hair in my hand. I know it's dark, but
Oh yes, it is dark, but this is Ms. Gillespie's hand, and there is a chunk of hair that was pulled out, and this came from the officer's body cam. All right, Ms. Gillespie, did police respond to this incident?
yes, when I was talking to the police, they gave me a number for like contact. And I went to the office when talked to the detective the next day.
Okay, and so when did the police respond to the incident?
I would say like, I wouldn't say immediately after, but police did show up and that's when I went up to an officer and told him about the situation that happened.
And were you still in the park when they responded?
Yes,
Was it Lansing Police Department?
yes.
And so, was it one officer or more than one?
I remember talking to only one officer.
Okay, so you spoke with the officer?
Yes, I did.
And so can you describe the demeanor and emotional state that you were in when you spoke to the officer?
I remember just crying. I was crying a lot. I was very distraught about the situation. But I just remember being very emotional.
Have you experienced any psychological or emotional effects since the incident?
My hair. I was really, really sad about my hair. I still am, but it's growing out. So, but I would say that I was very sad about my hair being put out.
Did you seek any counseling or therapy?
After the situation, I did involve myself in therapy through my school. It's called MSU CAPS.
Were there any witnesses to this incident, and if so, who?
I would say Lasia. She came in kind of closer to the end after the attack, but she did involve herself as much as she could. But most people didn't know that it was happening because I got snuffed.
So when you say Malaysia, you're referring to Miss Malaysia Thompson.
Miss Malaysia Thomas, yes.
Okay. Do you have any photographs or any other evidence of these injuries that you submitted to us?
No, those are all.
Okay, is there anything that you would like to add about how this incident impacted you?
I would say that it didn't need to happen at all. I don't understand why. I feel like there's no reason that you should ever put your hands on somebody, especially when they're not looking. I feel like that's wrong in itself. And yeah, I think it's
Do you feel the situation could have totally been avoided?
it could have definitely been avoided. I would say for sure.
How do you feel now, both physically and emotionally?
Nervous. But, I'm just nervous.
Further questions for the people, Your Honor?
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Gillespie, how long have you known Jennifer Venn? You have to put a number on it, how many years?
Jesus, really not old, but I would say a good.
Say that you were friends at one point?
Yeah, I would say that really.
How long?
Yeah.
Did that change at some point?
It did change. I was at a party with a friend Cassidy, and she tried to hit her, and that's when I realized that I didn't.
So when was that?
This was of August 29th of 2017. It was a birthday party in Lansing.
You were at this party and Jennifer Venn was there and she got into an altercation. with a friend of
Yeah,
yours?
she tried to hit her in the back while there was people. But she didn't, it didn't connect her.
Do you have any other interactions with Jennifer Venn after that date before May 29th?
After May 29th?
Oh, sorry, after that August date of 22.
I mean, yeah, I would see her at like parties or stuff like that, but it was never like anything wrong or anything malicious that happened.
So, on that May 29th, you said you went to this pool party earlier in the day or the evening, right?
Yes.
Remember about what time it started?
No, I don't know. I don't remember what time it started.
It was daylight.
Yeah, it was daylight for sure.
And did you see Jennifer at that party?
Yes, I did.
Did you interact with her at all at that party?
She was like, I don't know, like she was doing this on purpose, but she was bumping into Malaysia. It was also when she was bumping into her. I don't know if it was purpose or if it was on accident, but that was the only time we interacted. Other than that, it was no verbal words that were being spoken.
So just to clarify, you said she was bumping into Malaysia.
Yes, because we were in the elevator together. When we were going up, because at the hub, there's an elevator. And you have to go up to the rooftop of the floor.
Let me just slow you down. What is the,
Oh, sorry, it was the place of the location.
okay, is this a building?
It's a building, yes, it's an apartment complex, but they have a rooftop, um, pool.
So you were, in other words, you were present when she interacted with Malaysia.
Yes, I was present,
Did
but
you exchange any words with Jennifer at all?
no, not at the pool party, no.
Was there alcohol at this party?
There was alcohol.
You drank any alcohol at this party?
I had one drink.
One drink. Then you went to Washington Park, correct?
Yes, right.
Sounds like most people who were at the pool went to Washington Park. Is that
Yeah, it was half and half, I would say. Some
Okay.
people went, some people didn't.
definitely you went, Malaysia went, and Jennifer was there also?
Yes,
Did you exchange any words with Jennifer prior to the being near her at Scoop's car?
yes, that's when I asked her what the location was. I asked her what,
That was at Scoop's car, right?
yes, because Scoop called her over, and they were talking, and then I heard her saying something about a new location, so I asked what the explanation.
So going back to kind of your, I guess, your state of mind at that time, you feel like you were comfortable being around Jennifer, talking to her that way, like in a friendly way?
I didn't have I just asked what the look. I was more focused on what the next location was.
In other words, like you weren't like afraid to be near her or anything, right? You didn't expect it.
I didn't expect her to, no.
Yeah. So you said that you had known Jennifer since high school. Were you in the same grade in high school?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. You said you have friends in common? Or even later in high school?
Friends and
Were you in a similar social circle kind of thing?
yes,
A lot of the same events?
yes, we would go to the same event. She would come to the initial.
Currently a student at Michigan State, right?
Yes,
Were you a student in May of 23 at Michigan State? Sure that you were trying to get into a sorority at that time?
no, I don't know. What's already?
Well, you don't ask the question, she answered it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Backing up a little bit, do you recall telling police officer that Jennifer had been sort of eyeing you or glaring at you during the pool party or any other time that night?
Yes, but yes.
Or what did that mean to you? How did that make you feel?
I mean, I feel like every time we do see each other out, that's what happens. You just look, you know.
Be clear, you said you were not trying to get into a sorority at this time.
No,
Okay, do you recall mentioning to an officer that you were working on getting into a sorority?
into an organization.
And what does that mean?
I was trying to get into On the Rise. It's an organization that my dad founded. I'm on a mission to universities company.
Okay, what is that organization? Do?
So it's a professional development organization that focuses on community service.
So you're trying to get into it, what's that mean?
You just have to have a certain amount of community service hours.
Is it an employment thing or a volunteer thing?
No, it's just an organization on campus.
Community service, okay.
Yes, professional development and community service organization.
You mentioned you were trying to get into that organization. Why did you feel the need to mention that? What was that for?
Can you repeat that question, please?
I mean, you said you mentioned it to an officer that you were trying to get into this organization.
Mhm.
Why did he need?
Oh, because I was basically saying I have a lot to lose. And so that's why.
You said you have a lot to lose. And what do you mean by
I feel like nobody would want to be involved or mentioned in any type of altercation or fight. So I just potentially that could mess that up. I feel like that would be for anybody. Though. Nobody wants their name tied to a fight, altercation, anything of that sort.
So it's true, isn't it, that if you were accused of an assault, that would certainly be worse. Right? That would be worse.
Yes, but I was this.
You mentioned that you reported this incident to police at the park, right? Did you call police? Did you call 911? How did the police end up there?
No, I honestly didn't call anybody. The police was there, and that's when I went up to them and I told them.
You were there regardless of what happened between you and Jennifer. They just happened to be there.
I'm pretty sure that the altercation of me getting physically assaulted probably brought them there. I don't know, but
Okay, well, how long after the altercation did they get there?
I would say like immediately after, to be honest. So I think if I recall right, they were shutting it down as well, which is why there was another location that people were coming up.
They're shutting it down. In other words, they wanted people to clear out of the park. Probably
Yeah.
after dark, right?
Right, exactly.
So you mentioned that so Jennifer, you became aware that she knew the location of the next place, the move.
Yes,
She was explaining this to Duke, who's in his car.
yes, it was in his car, but his window was rolled down.
So you can hear what they were talking about.
Yes,
Then you came over to ask.
I didn't approach. I was by the driver's side of my car,
So how far away was your car from the gates?
like here. Here.
Parked next to each other?
Yeah, we parked next to each other. She was closer to the front of his car and I was on my driver's side.
Were your cars facing the same direction?
No, my car was facing the opposite way. So my car was
Okay.
facing this way.
So
And
your
his car
driver's
was
side
facing-
was the same side as his driver's side, does that make sense? Like his.
It's kind of hard. Yeah, I understand. So this was my driver's side.
Okay.
This was like the back of his car, and then this was the front of his car where my
I
tip
see.
of my nails at. And she was here. I was like here.
Okay.
Yes,
So you asked her where the next location, was.
yes.
And she told you, and then you see,
Well, she said it in an aggressive
she said
way.
it in a way,
Yes.
but she didn't say it. Right.
She did say it. Yes.
So then, did you go to that next location?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And was that immediately after you left the park?
No, it wasn't immediately after because I was talking to the officer. But I did
That
have
was
the
at the park, right?
Excuse
You
me.
talked to the officers at the park.
Yes, I talked to the officers at the park.
And the officers left at some point,
Exactly.
and then you left,
Yes. But
and
then
everybody left, right?
yes,
And you went immediately to the next location.
not immediately after.
Okay.
After talking to the officers, that's when I. Well,
I just
officer,
mean the
that's
next place you went after the park was the next
Yeah.
sort of party. Location.
Yes.
Where was that?
I don't recall. It was in a parking garage. So we ended up leaving because it was time to go home anyway. But
You did go there for a time at least, right?
not.
I mean, did you literally went there?
Yeah, but it wasn't like we left after. It wasn't enjoyable.
Okay, did you get out of your car at any point there?
Yes, I did.
And you knew that Jennifer was going to be here.
Yeah.
You knew where it was. You didn't have any hesitation about being at the same location as her.
I didn't see him. I didn't see her at the location.
What I'm asking is,
Oh.
you had reason to believe she would be there.
Right.
And you mentioned that you felt that you were injured, but you waited a couple of days to go seek any kind of medical examination. Is that right?
I was just trying to make sure that my nose wasn't broken or anything like that. But that doesn't change the fact that I had hair loss as well.
Regardless of that, though, in other words, you didn't go directly from the park to urgent care or a hospital or something. Was it that? Or urgent?
I'm saying that it wasn't urgent.
I was asking you, if in your
Okay.
judgment, that it seems to me that you did not feel the need to seek immediate medical care.
I wouldn't say not at the time, but I did after, when I seen the bruising.
Did you speak to or have any communication with Jennifer Venn after that night?
No. That's, I don't think I was giving the answer. No.
You have any interaction with her at all since May 29th, 2023?
I've seen her somewhere, but it was like, we just looked at each other like walking.
Review this report.
While you're reviewing the report, I do have a question. The Malaysia Thomas is her name.
Yes,
They previously testified, I believe, in your direct that she came in more towards the end of the alleged assault. Where was she coming from? Do you know?
so she was talking to somebody cars over on this side. So she came around this way.
Okay, so she was about how many feet away at that time? You know,
I don't have an exact, because it was cars down, so
got it.
I just remember her coming in, like, that's all.
Okay, so she wasn't there when you asked the question about where the next,
No, she was talking to somebody at that time.
okay, and she wasn't there when you both exchanged pet names for each other.
No, she wasn't.
Did you make any threats toward Jennifer Venn after that incident in the park? I'll tell the officer or detective that you had made threats for her.
Can you specify what threats that I made?
Well,
That,
To answer the question, though, the question is, do you recall telling the officer that? So that's yes or no.
I don't recall. But if I did, I would admit it, but I don't recall.
if I were to show you a police report, you think that might refresh your memory?
Yes, I would like to see it, and I would admit to it if I did say something.
I got her may approach.
Okay.
Ask you to review this page of report, and when you've done, just put face down. So
Okay, am I reading this out loud or am I reading?
No,
Silent to yourself.
So
Okay.
just to yourself.
And I'm just reading this. Just his hand.
That's it. That just put things down, so you can come. So I'll ask you then, again, do you recall telling a police detective that you had been threats for Jennifer?
In this document, I didn't see where it said that. So I will reread it.
If you'd like to
Again.
refresh your memory. Does it help you remember anything?
I genuinely do not recall anything like that. I don't see that. I do see it in this report, but I do not recall anything that was harmful. And I definitely didn't act on any threat I possibly or allegedly made.
Going back a little bit, you mentioned that you had a drink at the pool party. Is that right? You remember when you
Yes.
had to drink?
It was a daiquiri. It was from, but I don't know what it was, but it was a daiquiri.
But did you make that daiquiri or someone else make it?
Oh, yeah, no, it was purchased.
Okay, so it's made by a professional bartender. Is there alcohol at Washington Park, the second location?
Yes, people had, yes,
Do you have anything to drink there?
no, no.
You feel that the alcohol you drank earlier might have affected your judgment?
Excuse me?
You feel the alcohol might have affected your judgment?
No, I wasn't drunk.
There was somebody drunk, and
Right.
and it's, I don't know if you can put a clear definition of what's drunk or what's not drunk. but
My
regardless,
judgment, or if you're talking about what happened on the evening of May 29th, my judgment was very clear. I was very coherent in everything that happened.
you said that Malaysia got involved at some point in this
Yes.
altercation. Correct me if I'm wrong, so you don't remember exactly how long that fight lasted, right?
I can't tell you, no, I can't give you a minute time,
Would it be on the order of a few seconds or a few minutes?
closer to a few minutes, yeah,
It was longer than a few seconds.
it was longer than a few seconds.
Did Malaysia see how it started?
No,
Did anyone see how it started besides you and Jennifer?
no, and according to the video, nobody thinks that, because I was snug. No, if I believe, and I'm just saying, I believe that when people know that it's a fight, people gather around. If something is called a fight, people gather around because they want to record, either to post it, to go viral. Nobody knew, and I have video evidence of people saying, like, "Where's the video?" Because I was snuck attacked. This wasn't a fight.
So you backing up a little bit, Malaysia got involved. What did she actually do? How did she get involved?
She punched and broke her nail, trying to like get Jennifer off, like trying to like scream. But that's what she did. She seen that I was getting hurt and she involved herself.
I think you said that Jennifer hit you in the face 8 or 10 times. I don't want to
Yeah.
misquote it. Is that
No,
what you
no,
said?
you're fine about that. Yeah.
Did you land any punches on her or connect with her at all?
I don't know. I was just saying.
Okay. So earlier you said that the police were at that location, not because you had called them, but You think maybe because somebody had called them after the fight?
Yes.
And that's speculation. I don't want to.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking like maybe it was time for the park to close or,
Okay.
but they were there, so.
It was a pretty large gathering and they probably just want everybody to clear out and go home. Yes.
Maybe.
If they had not been there, just of their own volition, would you have called them to come out?
I would have went to the police station the next day.
In other words, you would have made a report, but you wouldn't have felt the need to report an emergency.
It was an emergency, but I mean, if we're fact checking, like they were already there, so that was within my case. I had access right there to make a report.
One point did you call mentioning getting a PPO against Jennifer Venn?
I don't recall that. Oh,
Personal protection order.
the officer did mention that, like,
You recall how you responded to that?
I don't recall how I responded to that, but I do recall the officer mentioning that that was an option as well.
Just to be clear, you did not seek a personal protection order.
I did not.
And no further questions at this time.
Thanks, Your Honor. People would like to go back to Exhibit 3, people's proposed Exhibit 3. And so we just want to clarify. You said that the incident happened on the right side of your face. Okay. And so this photo is inverted. Am I correct?
That's what I was saying. I don't remember if it was
Because
inverted because you know how the
If
camera.
not, then it would be on this. See, like this one is showing the right side of the photo, not the right side of the face.
Right.
So this was taken through your selfie cam?
Yes, I flipped my camera like this and I.
So just to clarify to the people, if there's any confusion, that it was an inverted cam. Now, going back. You told Mr. Raleigh that you had one Zachary. And was that at the hub?
That was at the hub, yes.
So you didn't have anything at Washington Park?
No.
Okay, and throughout the whole evening, it was that one drink?
Yes, it was a document.
Perfect. And so you said earlier that you go to MSU.
Correct,
Were you enrolled at MSU during the time of this incident?
yes,
And I'm guessing you would have been a junior then?
yes,
Okay. And so you said you were trying to join a organization on the rise?
on the ride. Yes.
On the rise. And so were you working at all on campus or anything?
Yes, I was still working at the current job that I have now. The same as you.
And
It's on MS, yep, it's on MS.
so you have a job on campus?
Yes.
And you were trying to join an organization. Are there any organizations that you're a part of?
I'm now a part of On the Rise and I'm the community service coordinator for Successful Document on Michigan State.
Very good. So these were all things that you were scared of, like losing that night.
Yeah,
You just didn't want anything on your record or anything to show, especially since, I mean, the words used today were fight.
it wasn't a fight, it wasn't.
And so you were scared that the use of the word fight would have affected your ability to join On the Rise or to keep that job at MSU.
Exactly.
And so you were, so you weren't at the hub or Washington Park for any trouble now, were you?
No.
I'm going to, he's not objecting, but your questions are leading.
So earlier we discussed the language that was thrown between you and Miss Venn.
Right.
The use of the term bi bitch. Why did you decide to choose to say that?
Because I felt disrespected. I didn't ask the question in any malicious way. I just simply asked it like what's the aftermath? So I felt like the aggression, it didn't need to be had.
Or was the tone that was used disrespected you?
Yes,
Therefore, you said,
yes, I was like, fine.
nothing further for the people, Your Honor.
Any questions from the jury? Ms. Witness. And so, Mr. Gillespie, we're gonna advise you, there is a sequestration order. You're gonna be excused from the stand. You're not to have a discussion about your testimony with any other witness. I don't know if you're free to go, that's up to them. So we'll have you placed in a separate room, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You can be excused.
Thank you.
Who's your next witness?
The people call Miss Malaysia Thomas.
You face me and raise your right hand. Face me. Yep. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, you'll sit forward. And there's a microphone that's in front of you. That microphone needs to be able to pick up all of your responses because the young lady behind you is my court reporter. She has to make a record of everything being stated in the courtroom, okay? Your responses need to be verbal, loud and clear, no head nods and head shakes for yes or no questions. If there's an objection, you'd stop speaking. I'll make a ruling on the objection and I'll tell you if you can give that answer or not, okay? And I'm gonna ask you to speak up a little louder because there's some things going like fans and stuff that drowns out your sound a little bit. State your first and last name and spell both.
My name is Malaysia Thomas, MYLAYSIA Thomas, THOMAS.
You can proceed, counsel.
Good afternoon, Ms. Thomas. So let's get straight to it. What do you currently do? What is your occupation?
As of right now, I currently work at Bridgewater Interiors, making 2024 car seats.
And so where do you currently reside?
In Lansing, Michigan.
And how long have you lived in this area?
I live in Lansing, Michigan all my life.
And so, do you know the victim in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know the victim?
We are friends.
How long have you guys been friends?
I'm gonna say about 4 years now.
Where did you meet?
We met through another meeting.
Do you guys go to the same school by any chance?
No, ma'am. I'm not friendly.
Do you know the defendant in this case?
Yes, ma'am. Well,
How do you know the defendant?
parties.
From party. And so, were you on, where were you on the evening of May 29th of 2023?
Where was I that evening?
Mhm.
I was in Angel.
Where?
I believe.
Can you just speak louder, please?
I believe the park is called Morris Park.
Morris Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, so what were you doing at that location?
We were just, at the time, we really doing chilling, trying to figure out the next location from Woods Park.
And so before that, were you with Angel as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And where were you guys then?
Pool party
Where was the pool party?
located like in East Lansing.
You know the name of the place exactly?
No, we just call it the rooftop.
Okay. And so, now you said you guys were at the park.
Yes.
So what were you guys doing at the park?
Well, really, we had just got there. When I first had got there, I had seen some females that I knew, and she had seen somebody she knew, so I stepped to the side. They were like 15 minutes later after we had just got here.
Okay, and so this park, was it in Lansing or East Lansing?
Lansing.
And so, how long was it between you guys arriving and you noticing that something was going on, something unusual was happening?
I didn't notice it till I came back around from talking to my other friends.
Okay. And so what did you first see? What happened in that moment that drew your attention?
What drew my attention was seeing Angel be attacked and her braids being pulled.
So you saw the attack and the braid being pulled?
Yes, ma'am.
How far were you from the incident?
I was pretty close because I tried to break it up.
Would you say like mere feet away?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, can you describe what you saw happening between the victim and defendant in detail?
Yes. All I remember is seeing Angel's head downwards and just seeing blows and hair pulled, braids being pulled.
That was the first thing you noticed
Yes, ma'am.
happening.
Mhm.
Now, was that, you didn't notice anything before or after?
I did notice a little bit before when we were at the beach, but I paid it no mind. Not the beach, I mean the rooftop, but I paid it no mind.
What happened at the rooftop?
The defendant, she had bumped me by the elevator, but I paid it no mind. And then I believe she bumped me by the door, but I paid it no mind. That's right.
Okay, and so you said that someone attacked Angel, pulled her hair. Do you see that person in the room today with us?
Yes.
Can you point them out? Let the record reflect that the witness has pointed out the defendant.
I don't know what she pointed out.
Can you tell us what she's wearing?
Brown and white?
Okay. Any objections to identification?
No objection.
Identification is noted.
So, who was pulling the braid?
The defendant.
And so who was throwing the blows?
The defendant.
Was anyone else joining in?
No.
So it was just two people and the defendant was throwing the blows and pulling the braid.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so, was there anything obstructing your view from the incident?
No. Like,
So, because there was a lot of
it was a
people,
lot of people and it was a lot going on, but after somebody other besides me broke up, that's when the police arrived.
do you know who the other person was?
No, not that I know.
So you were in clear view of what was happening.
Yeah, but I don't remember who broke it up initially. Like, after I just when police.
What did the defendant do to the victim as far as your personal,
When I tried
Point
to
of
break it up, I did break a fingernail, but that was about it.
you broke your fingernail?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you describe the victim's reaction or behavior during the incident?
Very sad in a way. Confused. I'm gonna say due to the fact that it was random. So most definitely sad.
And did the defendant use any objects or weapons?
No, ma'am.
It was. What did you do immediately once you noticed the incident unfolding?
Tried to get in between it to like break it up, but it wasn't really necessarily in my control in a sense, so that's when I believe somebody else broke it with the guy.
It was you and a guy who broke it up.
Yes.
At that time, was the victim fighting back?
I couldn't tell because she had a lot of hair, so I couldn't tell if this was bad.
Okay. And so did you approach the victim after?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you approach the defendant after?
No.
And so did you call for help or contact the authorities?
No, it came like immediately after, like somebody had already called, so.
So the authorities were there moments after the incident,
Yes, ma'am.
but it wasn't you who called them?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you see any injuries on the victim?
No, except for one braid being pulled out.
What was the defendant's behavior or demeanor before the incident?
Before the incident, the defendant was moving drunk. And some people when they drink liquor, they turn into something totally different. So I'm gonna say she was moving a little off in a way, taking in light.
How about after the incident? Do you recall anything about the defendant's demeanor?
After the incident, yes, people were coming up to me stating that she was basically like.
Stop. Should be an objection for hearsay.
Now, did you give the police a statement?
I don't.
And then were medical personnel called at the moment?
No.
Do you believe they were needed?
No,
Is there anything else that you think is important for the court to know that you witnessed?
no, nothing.
No. Have you given any other statements about this incident prior to today?
No, ma'am.
And have you discussed this testimony with anyone else before today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we do have one question. Did you at any time punch the defendant while trying to break off the altercation?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Tom. Ms. Thomas. How long have you known Jennifer for?
I don't really know her like that. I just would see her at current.
More of an acquaintance.
Yeah, acquaintance.
Angel Gillespie, how long have you known her?
So I've been on her like 4 years now.
You say you're good friends.
Yes.
At this pool party earlier, I guess, in the, you were there, Jennifer Venn was there, Angel was there.
Yes.
Is there alcohol at this party?
Yes, it was.
Do you have anything to drink?
I have one.
One of what? Would you drink?
A margarita.
What about Angel?
We both have dark daiquiri margarita drinks. Only one.
What about Jennifer Venn?
I wasn't paying her no mind. I don't know what she's doing.
What about at Washington, sorry, at the park afterwards? What,
At Washington Park, I did not drink. We weren't there for that one.
you didn't drink, did you see anyone else drink?
People around me were, but not me. No.
You, what about Angel,
No,
Jennifer?
I don't even know what she was.
Sure, okay. So at some point, you're kind of, you're standing around, right? And you
I walk away.
walk away from Angel.
Yes, sir.
How did you become aware that something was happening?
Something just told me to walk back to where I was standing prior before I was like two cars. So Angel's over here, I'm only on this other side of the car, which is a red vehicle. I can see to go back to Angel's car, which is right beside the red car I was at on the other side. And that's when I noticed the driveway, then fighting or altercation. So altercation started.
You said something told you to go back.
Yeah, because I mean, it's my friend, not me.
It's not clear what you mean by something told you.
In my head, I said, let me go back.
Nothing you heard or saw something, you just had a
No,
feeling.
intuition, woman intuition, strong, real strong.
Okay. So you went back, right?
Yeah.
What did you see when you got within sight?
The Angel head down, grade getting pulled.
And what did you do?
Tried to break it up, ended up breaking a nail.
So you say try to break it up, like physically, how did you do that?
Hands kind of pull, but I mean, how can I pull and they're altercating?
When you say
It's
pull,
hard. I'm a lady.
sorry to interrupt you again, but what are you pulling? I mean, are you
The
pulling them?
bodies
Okay. Grabbing them by the arm, I'm just
back.
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 okay.
I just remember the defendant more on top of Angel and me trying to break it up, but I'm little myself, so I believe that's when somebody else stopped and did it yourself and called.
Somebody else stepped in.
Don't know who it is, so don't know.
Was it just one other person?
I believe so.
Okay. And they were able to break up your
Yes, sir.
broken nail, right?
Yes, it was on this hand.
Okay. Did you notice if Jennifer had any injuries or anything?
No, sir.
Call speaking to police that night?
Who, me? I believe so.
Okay. I know you already answered, but you, so you didn't call police, right?
No, that wasn't.
You don't know, do you know who called the police?
No, because it happened so fast, the police came like immediately and then the whole party was shut down.
When the party was shut down, when you went,
The police, when they came, everybody left, so that means it's shut down, like you have to leave.
nobody's there.
Yeah, nobody's there.
Where did you go after that?
I went home. It was late.
Understand. Did you have any interaction with Jennifer Venn after that night?
No, sir.
Are you aware of any further issues with Jennifer Venn?
No, sir.
Mentioned you had one drink at the pool. Or at the location where the pool
Yeah.
was. Do you feel that that might have affected your recollection or your understanding of what happened?
No, sir.
No further questions, Joe.
Nothing has been put on.
Any questions from the juror? Or jury? Questions for this witness? Okay, there is a sequestration order, Ms. Thomas, so that means you're not allowed to have any discussions about your testimony with any other witness, okay? You're free to get down from the stand. I don't know if you're free to leave. That's up to the prosecution, okay? Thank you. You can call your next witness.
Call Officer Craig Pleasure.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can have a seat, officer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please state your first and last name, spell both.
First name is Craig, C-R-A-I-G. Last name Fleeser, F-L-E-S-E-R.
You can proceed.
Good afternoon, Officer Fleischer. Thank you for being here today. Do you mind reminding us of your occupation on the record?
I'm a police officer for the city of Lansing.
All right, and how long have you been a police officer for the city of Lansing?
2 years and 2 months.
Are you currently assigned to a specific unit or division?
I'm assigned to a patrol division, night shift.
So what is your role within that unit?
Take calls for services, conduct surveillance on anybody violating Michigan criminal law, Michigan motor vehicle code, things like that.
Were you on duty on the evening of May 29th, 2023?
I was.
Where were you located that night?
I was located in District 7, which is just south of 496, center South Washington Street.
And so did you receive any call regarding an incident that night?
I did. I took many calls that night. One night, we also had a large party going on at 2700 South Washington, which is known as Washington Park, where there's a DJ going on and approximately about 100 people present.
What was the nature of that call?
Oh, that wasn't called. That was self-initiated. I was just there to observe subjects there, make sure everything was okay. No crime was being commenced.
So you were on duty at the park and noticed something happening?
Yep, while conducting surveillance about 2200 hours, I noticed multiple subjects starting to run away and scream. While going over to the scene, I made contact with a subject who advised she had just been assaulted.
Do you mind letting us know what 2200 hours?
2200 hours is 10.
And so what was the nature of what was going on at the time?
Well, like I said, as I was sitting there, I saw a bunch of people running away and screaming. So I went to investigate, and when I went over to investigate, I made contact with a subject who advised she just been assaulted.
And do you know who the subject is?
Yep, Angel Gillespie.
How far were you from where you encountered Ms. Gillespie when you first noticed what was going on?
So I was on the north end of the parking lot, and when I made contact with her, she was near the southern end of the parking lot, which is, if I had to roughly estimate, probably 200 to 300 yards.
Can you describe Ms. Gillespie's demeanor when you made contact with her?
She was frazzled, frustrated, upset, crying.
And what did you observe other than Ms. Gillespie once you arrived at the scene?
I also made contact with another subject, Ms. Thomas, who was with Ms. Gillespie during the time.
So by the time you made contact, most of what was going on had died off?
Yeah, so when I got there, Ms. Gillespie was with Ms. Thomas in her car by themselves, and they flagged me down, wanting to talk to me.
And you did not observe the incident?
I did not observe the incident.
Okay. And so did you observe any visible injuries on the victim?
She had some hair pulled out, minor injuries, not really that I could really tell though.
Okay. And so what steps did you take upon arriving at the scene?
So after I made contact with Ms. Gillespie, I took a statement from her, obtained what happened to her, and then I talked to Ms. Thomas as well, and took a statement from her and what she observed. And then I also obtained a possible accused. She gave me a first name of Jennifer. She gave me an Instagram handle, Instagram name, and then a phone number for the accused.
And those were all provided by the victim?
Those were all provided by Ms. Gillespie.
Oh. And so did you provide any medical assistance to Ms. Gillespie?
I offered LFD to come and evaluate her, but she declined treatment.
Okay. Did you speak with anyone other than Ms. Thomas?
No. So the only individuals I talked on scene were Ms. Gillespie and Ms. Thomas.
And what information did they provide to you?
So Ms. Gillespie told me that she was assaulted by a Jennifer, unknown last name. They were in the parking lot and Jennifer, the accused, walked in front of her. They got into a confrontation. Jennifer started to assault her and pulled out a piece of her hair.
And what did Ms. Thomas offer you in terms of information?
Ms. Thomas said she was at the party as well. She was talking to somebody else. When she turned around, she saw Jennifer on top of Ms. Gillespie.
Did you collect any physical evidence from the scene?
I did not. I took photos of the Instagram and of Ms. Gillespie and her injuries.
Okay. Did you obtain any video footage from your by cameras or any cameras in the park?
I had my body cam on during the incident. Like I said, though, I only observed what I observed, which would have started probably midway through the park. And it would just probably, at the beginning of my video, would have just shown a bunch of people running, and then me making contact with Ms. Gillespie and Ms. Thomas, but I did not obtain any surveillance footage from the park.
Did you document your observations and actions in a report?
I did. I documented my action in a report.
Were there any arrests made that night?
There were not. I did not have a verified accused. I only had a first name, and I gave it over to my detective bureau to do further investigation.
And did you inform the victim of her rights and the next steps that she could take?
Yep, I gave her a victim right card as LP's policy.
Did you follow up with the victim after the incident?
I did not. Like I said, I turned on my detective bureau, and responsibility of my detective bureau to follow up on incidents like this.
Did you receive any additional information or evidence after your initial response?
I did not.
And based on your observations and actions, what conclusions did you reach regarding the incident?
From the way that Ms. Gillespie was acting, and then from the statement made from Ms. Thomas, I believe that Ms. Gillespie had been assaulted that night by Jennifer.
Can you clarify, you said had or had?
Had.
Is there anything else that you believe is important for the court to know about this case?
Not this time.
Nothing further for the people, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Officer Producer, just to be clear, you arrived at the park based on, well, you had become aware that there was gathering.
Yep, earlier night, I obtained intelligence from a couple of people that a large party or gathering was going to be happening at the South Washington Park there.
Did you go there with the intention of breaking up the gathering?
Nope, I was gonna go there, make sure that everything was going smoothly, make sure that no fights erupted, no illegal activity was happening, with the intentions, once the park was closed at around 2200 hours, 10 o'clock p.m. When we close our parks in the city, then we're gonna start echelon people out.
So you were not called out for an assault. In other words, you did not know that an assault had occurred when you came out.
Nope, it was self-initiated.
See, self-initiated, what was that?
Self-initiated activity, preemptively doing something to
In
either.
other words, you made the decision to go, you were not dispatched to the.
Correct.
Okay. You see Miss Venn at any time that night?
I did not.
You made contact with Angel Gillespie. She described what happened as an assault or a fight.
She advised me that she was attacked by another individual first.
You say first, what is that?
That another individual, in this case, Jennifer, unknown last, came to her, started to physically assault her, and initiated the confrontation between the two.
Can you describe how that started?
So earlier night, she advised me that she was over in East Lansing. She had a verbal altercation with Jennifer, and then she transitioned over, went to that South Washington Park, and where she said that she visually saw Jennifer again, and then Jennifer came at her and a physical confrontation started.
You recall Miss Gillespie saying to you that was the first time she'd been in a fight?
I do not recall.
You mentioned you spoke with Ms. Thomas, correct?
That is correct.
Ms. Thomas report to you that she had witnessed it.
So Ms. Thomas was talking with a unrelated subject. When she turned around, she stated to me that she saw Jennifer on top of Ms. Gillespie.
She stated she became involved in the fight.
She said she did not. Another subject broke up the fight between Jennifer and Ms. Gillespie.
She didn't identify that subject.
Not to my knowledge. No.
Do you have any interaction with Angel Gillespie after that night?
I did not.
Any interaction with Jennifer Venn at any point?
None.
Do you have any interaction with Malaysia Thomas after that?
None.
Just to be clear, you did not directly witness any of the events that occurred.
I did not.
You took reports from.
Correct.
Do you recall giving any advice or guidance to Ms. Gillespie before you left the scene?
Yeah, I believe I gave her my a victim right card, well, the report number on it, my name and my badge number, and what she can do for follow-on steps for the report.
Did you advise her to go to seek medical care, to go home, anything like that?
I offered LFD to respond to evaluate her, but she declined medical treatment.
Did you tell her she should go home or anything like that?
I do not recall that.
No further questions.
Let me redirect.
Nothing for the people, Your Honor.
Any questions from the jury? Thank you, Officer Lisa.
Thank
Any other witnesses?
Not for the people, Your Honor.
Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute recess. Let the jury stretch. And I think they need to go get their payment, actually. I'm sorry, they gotta go get paid. All right, for the jury. Okay, you can be seated. Okay, and defense was going to call witnesses. Yes.
We all meet you.
You can go to your client about her rights.
Ms. Venn, as we discussed, you understand that you have a right to not testify if you chose not to,
Yes, sir.
and that your refusal to testify could not be used against you.
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you do choose to testify, anything you do say could be used against you.
Yes, sir.
You understand that the prosecution will also have an opportunity to ask you questions that you'll be required to answer them truthfully.
Yes, sir.
Understanding all that, do you want to proceed and testify on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
You can take the stand. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, counsel, you can proceed with the question.
Ms. Venn, you consider, or would you say that you at any point have been a friend of Angel Gillespie?
Yes, we were cordial in high school.
Say cordial, you mean you got along.
Yes. We were acquaintances, friendly. I would see her and acknowledge her. Hi, bye, vice versa.
Did that sort of cordial atmosphere change at some point?
Yes.
And when did that happen?
In my freshman year of college,
How long ago was that from today?
I believe a year ago.
So on May 29th, 2023, would that have been after your freshman year, like the end of your freshman year?
That would have been the time I was transitioning to my sophomore year of college.
Do you recall any specific disagreements or conflicts that you had with Ms. Gillespie?
Yes. So we have 3 prior altercations before the May 29th
Okay,
altercation.
let's take it one at a time. Do you remember the earliest altercation?
Yes, that would be April 15th. Not April 15th, that would be I think the Freaknik that she referred to.
And when was that?
I think in the summer going into freshman year.
Would be somewhere of 22.
um, I think so.
Okay.
Just
What-
for clarification, you're in school, are you now?
I'm going to be a junior.
Okay, so
What happened at that event that summer?
So we were both at a park party and there was a freshly graduated senior from the high school that we both went to.
So just to be clear, recent high school graduate, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying? Okay.
yeah. So she was at the party and I had told her to go home because there was older people at the party with us. And Miss Cassidy, her
I'm
last name
sorry,
is
yeah, Cassidy, go ahead, who's this Cassidy person?
Cassidy was, I don't know if they're still friends, but she was with Miss Gillespie. They were, I believe they came to the party together.
Okay.
But Cassidy saw me talking and her, telling her to leave, like there's older people here and you don't know what could happen. And she started telling me to mind my business, I need to get out of her business. And me and Cassidy started having a screaming match because she kept on telling me to like get the F out of her business, that I'm not her mom. And Angela was just there. She was arguing with me too, but it wasn't an altercation directly to me and Miss Angel. Me and Miss Phillips.
Did you interact with Angel at all at that?
At the park.
At the summer event where you had this argument with Cassidy?
No, she was just there more so arguing along with her friend, but I wasn't speaking to her.
That was the first event. You said there were 3?
Yes.
What was the second?
The second event would be April 15th at MSU Spring Ball Game, the
Was
after
that
party for that.
The following April 2023?
Yes.
And what happened there?
Me and Angel were both standing in a crowd by the bar, and she started to yell at me, asking me if I had a problem, telling me I'm staring at her, and if we have a problem, we can handle it.
How did you respond to that?
We just went back and forth and I was telling her to get out of my face. She had crossed my personal boundary and started using her hands to argue with me in my face. I was telling her to get out of my face. I'm not doing this with you.
And how did that interaction end?
I believe her friends had like broken it up, not broken it up, but they had took her away. And my friends had taken me away, but it was never anything past verbal.
So that didn't get physical.
No,
What was the third incident?
the third incident was at a 18 plus club, like after, like not after party, but like it's called the Square, I believe. It's actually around this area. They used to have it in the summers last year, where her friends
So when did this happen?
that summer before May 29th.
So sometime between the April football game and the May 29th.
Yeah.
Go ahead, what happened there?
Her and her friends just started talking to me. They bumped into me, and they were just asking me if I had a problem.
And how did you respond to that?
I was like, "You don't have a problem. I don't know why you guys keep trying to pick with me."
It sounds like you were definitely not getting along by this point.
No,
You know why if they got to that point?
me and Angel never verbally spoke on what the issue was. So all I have is what people have said she claimed the issue is.
To your knowledge, does he have an issue with you specifically?
Yes,
Okay. What is the issue?
she claims that I'm jealous of her.
Objection, Your Honor. Most of the statements are hearsay.
Do you want to respond to the objection?
I'm not offering this to sort of prove the truth of the matter. Certainly, I'm simply inquiring as to my client's understanding of the relationship at this time.
So
Well, I have to deal with the objection. So you're not offering the hearsay for the proof of the matter asserted. You're trying to offer it to do what?
Explain my client's sort of impression of personal history with this person.
Okay. Do you want to respond?
Your Honor, the statements are not for the truth of the matter asserted. At this point, I don't know how they're relevant to our particular case.
I was wondering how they were relevant.
I can withdraw them.
Objection sustained. We can move on. You can't answer that question.
Forward. Recall the evening of May 29th, 2023, having some interaction with Ms. Gillespie.
yes,
So when did you first interact with her on that day?
our first interaction was when her friends who had called me over to the passenger side of the driver's side of his car.
And where did that?
That was at Washington Park.
Okay. Did you interact with her at all before Washington Park?
No,
Did you see her at all before Washington Park?
no, I wasn't aware that Angel was at the rooftop party. I wasn't aware she was at the party.
So going back to Washington Park, you said Scoop called you over to this car.
Yes,
Where was Angel at that time?
Angel was at the driver's side of his car where his passenger seat would be, passenger window would be.
You said driver's side of his car,
Yes,
but passenger.
no, I meant driver's side. So, this is,
And so was he in the driver's seat?
yeah, he was sitting down in the car.
Okay. And where was she standing relative to him?
She was by his door, by his window.
Oh,
So to the driver's side where he was, by his driver's side window.
okay. And did she say anything to you? How did you interact with her at that time?
As in how our conversation.
When you said you interact with her, what happened?
So I was talking to school, he was asking me where the second location of the after party, of like where they were gonna go. And she had asked me where it was, and I said anyways, and then Angel was like, bitch, bye.
How did they make you feel?
Upset, and I was upset, but
How did you respond to it?
I turned around and she had approached me and we started getting in a back and forth argument, and I was telling her, I was like, don't speak to me. We really don't like each other. Why are you talking to me? We're not friends.
Why?
After that, me and Andrew are going back and forth. She's calling me a bitch. I'm calling her a bitch. And I said, you're not worth my time. And I turned around and Angel grabbed me one of my pigtails. I had 2 braided back pigtails. And she slapped.
So you were facing away from
Yeah, I had just turned around.
her. She grabbed you by a pigtail, is that what you said?
Yes,
You say pigtail, was your hair like it is now?
no.
Okay, how was it arranged?
So I had 2 long braided back pigtails. So my hair was braided back and then 2 like individual pigtails.
Okay. So you grabbed the pigtail, what did you do, or what happened after that?
After that, I grabbed Angel's hair and we began to go back and forth with pulling each other's hair.
How long did you go back and forth like that?
Couple seconds.
Take up you literally 2 seconds? Or
No, I would say like maybe 30 seconds.
Did anyone else get involved?
Yes, who had gone out of the driver's side of his car and he had got Malaysia and Asian, Miss Calypsy off me. And then he had carried me over to my friend's vehicle down the parking lot.
Was Malaysia Thomas involved at all?
She wasn't there at the beginning of the argument, but she had joined Angel in fighting me.
Okay. Since she had joined Angel in fighting you, what specifically did she do?
Well, she's like, both of them were just hitting me. I kind of physically say it was a slap or a punch, but I know she joined her in.
So somebody broke, sorry, did you say who broke it up eventually?
Scoop, he's gone out the driver's side of his
Okay.
car.
Where did you go immediately after it broke up?
First, I was taken to my friend's vehicle where they were looking at my face, asking me what had happened. And then after that, we left to the location that I had initially been telling school in the beginning of the day. Like before the altercation started.
You left pretty soon after the fight broke up.
Not necessarily. They had calmed me down first and checked if I had any injuries, and then we left.
Sorry, did you have any injuries?
No, nothing visible at least.
Okay. You calmed down, then did you leave? Is that when you left?
Yes,
Okay.
but the reason why we left was Angel and her friend. For one, Miss Thompson kept trying to run back over
You're
to
talking
me.
about Malaysia.
Yes,
Okay.
Miss Malaysia. She kept trying to run back over to me, and then a bunch of Angel's friends kept on coming to me, telling me that she wants to redo, we need to go fight her again, and it just wasn't productive.
To be clear, did you fight her again?
No,
So you went to this other location, right?
So yes,
yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am,
Thank you. Did you see Angel at that location?
yes,
You talked to her at all?
no, I stayed away from her.
Okay. Did you interact in any way with her?
The only time I was aware of Angel's presence at that location was when we were driving, I was walking back to my friend's vehicle, because I didn't drive that day, and Angel moved her car forward.
Okay. Did you interact with Malaysia Thomas at that, or at any point after that?
No, both her and Angel stayed in the vehicle at that second location.
Do you have any alcohol to drink that day?
No,
Do you have any substances, marijuana, any sort of mind altering substance?
no,
Do you interact with, well, let me back up a little bit. We describe it. Basically, it sounds like you're saying she attacked you.
yes,
Did you report that to the police?
no.
Why not?
I didn't report it to the police because we were at a public park. I was under the impression that two people were fighting in the park, regardless, because there wasn't any witnesses to say that who hit who first. We were both gonna get a charge. That's disturbing the peace.
In other words, you thought you would get in trouble regardless of who started.
Yes,
Did you ever seek any medical attention?
no,
Is that because you didn't believe you were injured?
yeah, I was fine.
Did you speak to Ms. Gillespie at any point after that night?
Yes,
When did you speak to her again?
she joined the call between me and Scoop because she had,
Let's back up a little bit. Why did she join this call?
the catalyst for this is we were all a part of the MSU community group chat. And after May 29th, her and her friends kicked me out the group chat. At least I didn't know it was her and her friends at the time. Stu,
Let's just skip to what you know. Okay, let's not speculate. You know that you were removed from the group chat.
yeah,
Is that why you were talking to Stu?
yes,
And at some point she joined the call.
yes.
What did you say to each other?
During our conversation, I asked her, I said, Angel, why are you telling people that I attacked you when you in Malaysia know what you did? Why are you telling people that I attacked you? That doesn't make any sense.
And what did she say to that?
She just kept on repeating.
Objection, hearsay.
So I respond to the objection.
All right, I'm inquiring as to the main witness's statement, which I think is not useful.
Why would it not be useful?
Frankly, just inquiring as to my client's recollection.
Objection sustained. You can't answer that.
In other words, you spoke to her. Speak to her ever again after that day?
No, I avoid.
Okay. You ever see her again?
Yeah, yes.
And when did you see her?
I saw her at passing at a following event months later.
Okay. You said you avoided her, correct?
Yes.
Further questions?
That's again.
So, originally speaking about the first situation you dealt with Ms. Gillespie in, you were involved in a verbal altercation with Cassidy, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you weren't involved in any verbal altercations with Angel at the time, correct?
Not explicitly.
So no?
I was talking to Cassidy, Angel was joining in with the young. I'm not sure if I can directly say yes. I'm not sure if I would be in argument with Angel too.
There was shouting between you and Cassidy, but never Angel, is that correct?
Yeah, I wasn't addressing this ability.
Angel was there, but never physical with you, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, involving the second incident you mentioned today, we are slightly confused because we heard from the other witnesses that the second incident was the Washington Park incident. But based on that, you and Angel got into a shouting match at a bar?
Yeah, we were at a MSU spring ball game after party,
What time was, can you tell us what date that was?
April 15th.
So you were at Washington Park, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That was after you were at the hub,
Yes, ma'am.
and then Angel was also at Washington Park,
Yes, ma'am.
and then Malaysia was also there.
Yes, ma'am.
You were involved in a verbal argument with Angel.
Yes, ma'am.
The argument with Angel got physical.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you also said, that you guys had a fight. That's correct?
Are you referring to May 29th?
Yes.
Yes.
And so you were pulled apart, is that correct?
Yes.
But then you also said that apparently some people at the park told you that she's trying to fight again, is that correct?
Yes.
And so how long approximately between the fight and those statements? How much time had passed?
I can't accurately say. It had happened so quickly, and I was kind of, not kind of, I was in shock. But it wasn't a lot of time because Miss Malia Thompson had tried to run up towards me again. And Angel at the time was already throwing, she was already threatening me, she was saying she was gonna run me over. So I had left pretty promptly after that. I didn't feel safe
Now, what I'm trying to understand, Miss
then.
Venn, I apologize. What I'm trying to understand is, we know that Officer Fletcher immediately was at the scene. So he didn't see any of those people and didn't make any contact with you?
Officer, but there were already police cars at the scene.
Yes.
That's why I felt safe to walk down the parking lot to be called over the street.
No, my question is regarding the incident.
Mhm.
It was immediately responded to by Officer Fletcher. He immediately showed up. So my question is, can you give me an estimate on the time between the alleged fight and between the alleged conversation you had with friends about Miss Angel wanting a redo? Because if you guys were at the park, Officer Fletcher should have seen that. So could you give me an estimate on how long the time was?
So I believe me and Miss Felicity's fight was maybe 20, 30 seconds. Then I was clearly to my friend's vehicle. So I would say 2 minutes to me from how the fight ended to me going to my friend's vehicle. Like, to kind of go further, if he was ready at the scene and he immediately responded and he was seeing everything happen, he said that he was after running away. I was at the scene, so how did he not see me?
That's also my question.
So that's my thing. I didn't, like, this wasn't a long drawn out thing.
So you said that you two were separated, is that correct?
Yes.
Was it who separated you?
Yes, who had carried me and he had carried me away.
And where did he carry you to?
He carried me down the parking lot back to my friend's vehicle,
How far?
like a 2-minute walk.
He carried you a 2-minute walk away from where the alleged fight happened.
Yes,
And then that's where the people approached you and told you that Angel wants a redo.
yes. Miss Thompson had ran up to me.
So do you have any idea where was Angel taken at the time?
No,
So, last question. You did not speak to Officer Fletcher that night. Is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
You did not speak to any law enforcement about the incident that night. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You did not you did not report this incident to any law enforcement anytime after May 29th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You, you refused to give any statements on the matter until now. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the first time that you are saying this out loud today. Is that correct?
Yes, Ms. Burwell.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, Your
Any questions from the jury? Write the question down, sir. Necessarily a question for this witness, but I could give a jury instruction that addresses it about that. Counsel, if you want to see the question again. If we just give a jury instruction. If that's what they- so just that. There'll be a jury instruction on that, but that's not a question this witness can answer. Any other questions? It's a good question. Any other questions? Okay. This witness can be excused from the stand. Are you calling any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, the defense does.
Okay. Is the prosecution expecting to call rebuttal witnesses?
No, Your Honor, the prosecution rests as well.
Okay, it is 4:54 p.m. We still have to do final instructions, closing arguments, and then you have to deliberate, which means any way this works out, you're coming back tomorrow morning. So I'm going to relieve you now so that you can just come back tomorrow morning and we will pick up at 8 a.m. To do closing arguments. I'll give you your final instructions and then you can deliberate and we should be able to wrap this up tomorrow morning. Any issues we should address before we relieve the jury today? We thank you for your attention to this and we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. All right, jury. Your notes, you can leave them in the jury room because we locked that. You can be excused.